Carolla and Dr. Drew. Loveline, coast to coast.
Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Dr. Drew is a board-certified physician, an addiction medicine specialist, and he's in New York tonight, correct?
Correct.
How's the mood over there, Drew?
I was just talking to Matt about it. It's kind of interesting. I went all the way down to Ground Zero, and that was a little freakish.
How did you get out there?
I just kept walking until the police said stop.
All right.
And I got within about 2 blocks of it. And here, what's interesting, people are, affected, okay? But walking through Greenwich Village, it's Sunday night, and people were out and, relating and, bonding and, enjoying, every moment, it seems to me. There's a certain energy in the city that's very, very positive right now.
So it's but is did you think it was like a wake-up call to people where they said, look, we got to enjoy every day or tell our loved ones we love them or be good to our fellow human beings?
All this divisiveness needs to be put aside. There's an element to that. I mean, people, believe me, are rattled, but there's a quality to it that I'm very surprised about.
All right.
It's really nice.
Our guests tonight are P.O.D. They got themselves a CD out, which came out, ironically enough, on September 11th. Trey, Sonny, and Marcos are all here from the band, and we're going to, and this is a pretty diverse band. I mean, you got a lot of different ethnicities going in within the band itself, right? Yeah. What do you got? Lean up on that mic. Speak right into it. What do you got in the band?
We got the brothers.
Got the brothers.
Bass.
Represent the brothers.
Represent the brothers.
Myself, I'm all mixed up. I'm Italian, Guamanian, Hawaiian, Spanish.
Right.
I'm Chicano, if you know what that means. That's Mexican-American. I'm American, but I have Mexican roots and Spanish roots. And I'm just a Latin mutt, I guess you could say that.
You got some Filipino. What's Filipino?
Si quieres que hablo en español.
And this is basically. Are you guys from Southern California or San Diego?
San Diego.
Yeah, but it's about the same there as it is here out in L.A., which is a real mixed bag.
Right.
And for all. I think we get a bad rap as the United States for having a lot of racial difficulty, but I think for the mixture we have, it could be a lot worse. I mean, I don't think it's as bad as it could be.
I was actually thinking that these terrorists must be disappointed. They kill all kinds of different ethnicities and nationalities when they go after people in the United States.
Right. That's why I believe L.A. will never be attacked, because they don't look at it as part of the United States. It's a small satellite of many different countries. But tonight,
éxitos en español.
Thank you, Drew. Tonight we were going to make tolerance one of the topics, and maybe the topic, because it is sparked that discussion in this nation, especially as it pertains to Islam and all the Middle Eastern and different Arab nations we have represented in this country. And this is when it could get ugly. I mean, we've been through this before with World War II and the Japanese internment camps and all that kind of stuff. And I think there's been a minimum of that since this, but there's been some of it. Mm-hmm. And I would expect there to be some of it, and I don't want to minimize what there has been, but I think it could have been worse. But we're interested in talking to, what your experiences are and what the listeners and callers' experiences are. And I mean, Drew, what have you seen? You've been traveling around the country.
Yeah, there seems to me there's more anxiety about it than there is actual problem with it. Although I was in Michigan yesterday, and they had a large international residence hall. They had to shut the whole thing down. They had to lock it down with security. They got so anxious about there being backlash. Now, there wasn't any, but people are terribly, terribly nervous that there's going to be.
Right. All right. And New York is probably even more diverse than L.A. Wouldn't you say ethnically? Or
no.
At least is I was going to say is bad, but at least is good, right? I mean, it's at least as mixed up as L.A. is, right?
Yeah.
And there's not been too many reports, I'm glad to report, although there has been reports of some bigotry going on and people being unfairly prosecuted, and that's the way it works. I mean, you never get the people you want to get. You get the people who look like them who didn't do anything.
Right. I had a patient, a Japanese woman, who was in the internment camps in the 40s, and she said, I feel so sorry for people she said this exactly as she said, I feel so sorry for people with darker skin because suddenly their friends are not going to like them anymore. And she said, the people that did that in 1940 are the same people that do it now, which was interesting.
You mean the same people that hate those people?
Same hateful people are hateful people is what she was saying.
Right. And I do think for every one American that is that way, there's 10 of them who bend over backward trying not to be perceived as that one person. Although sometimes it's that one person that makes the news. Yeah. I think there's, and I'm glad to say that, and I feel it, I do it myself sometimes. I would hate to be considered a racist. And if a white guy comes up to me and wants some money, I tell him to beat it. And if a guy from any other nationality comes up to me, I'll either give him some money or explain to him why I can't, but it's not because of the color of his skin.
And then that again gives you license on radio to call people the blacks, the Mexicans, they're cute. I'm trying to refer to all those other races.
I'm trying to simplify it for the kids.
Yeah,
that's all. I'm not sure about the blacks. All right, P.O.D. is here tonight. Please, Anderson, you trying to get my ass kicked over there? How dare he? We're going to hear something off of Satellite, which is the newest CD, and we're going to take your calls. Drew, now you got a board over there in New York, Drew?
We are set.
All right, April?
Hi.
You're 16. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to thank P.O.D. because they've totally, helped me, get through it. And with this CD, being released 3 weeks late, and it, came out on the perfect date and all that, so...
Get through what, April?
You mean the tragedy?
Yeah, September 11th, their CD was supposed to come out 3 weeks earlier, and it didn't,
What have you been feeling?
I don't know. It's just, the lyrics and everything, has brought a total peace to me, you know what I mean? So, it's just really cool, and, and also thank you guys for not compromising your beliefs on this album.
Thanks.
Because you guys have gotten so big, and you totally have not compromised, and I think that is so right on.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So, and you guys, I'm totally praying for you.
Oh, thank you
every
very
day.
much.
I totally, and thank
you. Do you really? Do you say their name out loud when you pray?
I say P.O.D.
Awesome.
And Adam, I'm a born-again Christian, and the bombing the abortion clinics, that is so wrong. Totally against God.
Yeah.
And I support the morning after pill.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, that's what I was saying, and I'm sure I'm not the only one who's drawing this analogy, but when we were talking about the radical fundamentalist fringe of any religion,
right.
There are things that they do in the name of their God and in the name of their religion that the 99, and it's more than 99% of the rest of the people that follow their religion don't agree with and don't condone. And it's, like I said, it's not 1 out of every 100 guys. You know what I'm saying? It's not 1 out of every 100 born-again Christians bombs an abortion clinic.
Right.
It's 1 out of every million.
Right.
Yeah.
It's not even close to 1%. And yet it's so easy to blame that entire religion or that entire ideology. And it's such a small portion of those people. Josh?
Those people.
Of those people. No, I mean those people, meaning whoever those people, whatever the religion is.
Yeah.
Please, how dare you, Drew?
Drew.
Always trying to start a fire.
And he ain't even here either.
That's right. Josh?
Yeah.
You're 15. What's up?
Yeah, well, Adam, you're great.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yeah, and then P.O.D., you guys helped me. I almost died on Friday.
What happened?
Oh, I had surgery and just stopped breathing. But
What?
I had surgery on my elbow, and I stopped breathing in the middle of it, so it's all right. I'm all better, though. But anyway.
It's good to hear. You're okay.
Well, I mean, just that song, Alive, it's, I feel I can relate to it really well.
All
Right on, man.
Yeah. First-time caller, and there's some Arab people at my school, and recently my really good friends have just been giving them a hard time, just verbally harassing them and, doing stuff, and I just don't know what I should do. I don't want to just stand there and watch that happen, but they're my really good friends.
Why don't you tell the school?
Because I've, known these kids since I was, 5.
Yeah, but they're committing crimes, basically. They're doing the wrong thing.
Well, what are they doing? I mean, because that's the other thing, too. I don't mind a little razzing. I mean, I don't want it to get dangerous, but in what high school don't you screw with whoever? Do you know what I mean? I mean, maybe this is not the time, but, I mean, do they seem dangerous?
Well, kind of. I mean, because you can kind of hear it in their voice, when they're like, you effing ass or whatever.
Right.
Well, this is a sensitive time too. You know, what I mean, I don't even know if that's funny to even play around like that. You know, but take it upon yourself, man. If you have to step in and just, I mean, if they're your boys, they're your boys. You know, you have to tell them to cool off, hot sauce, and tell them to cool off.
You gotta put them in check, man.
Well, I agree, which is it's one of two things. Either you don't know them that well, so you should just go ahead and rat them out, who cares? Or you're real tight with them, in which case you should be able to step in and they should listen to you.
Yeah.
So
right. You know,
so it's kind of,
I don't want to be like, you know, like a wuss or anything, having to be like, you know, well, since I've known him for so long, I don't want to.
I know.
Hey, you know
the thing of wuss is not saying anything.
Right.
I think you'd be more of a man if you just step up and tell him to chill out, you know?
Yeah.
All right, could you do that?
I mean, I'm going to have to, because I just don't want, you know, anything bad to happen to...
Hey, we're glad you're alive, too, man.
What happened to your elbow? You threw it out, beaten off, or what happened?
Well, you know, they say it was tennis elbow, but, you know, I think it was more masturbation elbow.
And who told you stopped breathing?
The doctors. They had to...
But Drew does that all the time. He's just screwing around.
Yeah, but this is pretty serious. I guess they had to give me a paralyzer pill.
But that's what I'm saying. Drew does that and then charges him more. He goes, "Hey man, while you were out, while we're scraping that bunion, you stopped breathing, so we had to give you the paddles and we had to give you the adrenaline shot in the heart and the nitroglycerin pills, and that's an extra $2,600. But thank God you're around." And no one questions it, right, Drew? I mean, it's not like they videotaped it. Drew, do you ever do that?
No.
No, you don't do that?
No.
But you understand you could pad it just a little bit. You know what I mean? Like
I understand.
Like what they do. Like, you know, when you bring your car to a place and the mechanic tells you he turned the rotors, but he didn't really do it, he just replaced the pads.
It's a little different.
I don't know. All right, Drew, you got a call or what?
Yeah.
What's the matter, Drew?
You pissed me off.
Oh, really? Oh, please. I've done so much worse to you.
Hey, Drew.
That's true.
You know what?
Nothing.
Hey, Drew, P.O.D.'s a big fan of you, man.
Oh, thanks, P.O.D.
P.O.D. was P.O.'d that you weren't in the studio.
Yeah.
They said, we always thought Drew was in the studio with you. And I said, he normally is. Lizette?
Yes.
Drew's not mad. He was just distracted. Go ahead. You're 21.
Yeah, I am 21, and I had a question for P.O.D.
Here they are.
Hey, guys.
Hello.
How's my warrior men doing?
Oh, right on.
Very good.
Well, see, I have a question for you guys. I'm a Christian myself, and it's really hard to go out and represent the whole Christian world because it's, you know, they have a whole vision of what we are, what we're supposed to be, and they're always looking at us and what we do. So,
Who's they?
You know, the questions they always ask is like, well, how do you find God? And since you guys are in the air, like thousands of people are listening.
But who
they,
is the Jews? Who's they?
Oh, like the neighbor, the guy cutting his lawn, the guy next to me trying to race in the line.
I don't understand the question.
She's from Moreno Valley.
Yeah, the little town out in the outskirts of what would it be, Riverside?
and so basically, Lizette, you're saying, what are you saying? I wasn't listening. I'm sorry.
God, see, you're just like the typical man.
No,
but anyway,
what do you
get into that.
I don't mind being a typical man. I mean, if you really break it down, it's not such a bad thing to be as a guy.
Oh, it's a great thing to be. You guys get to decide everything we're going to end up doing.
Oh, no, please. You guys barely work and you live 8 years longer.
We keep the money, so it's all good.
Yeah.
No, so my question was, find God, and I'm not saying like, you know, you go in a closet and you hide, but it's more like how do you really get to that point of, you know what, I found God?
You know what?
And how would you describe that or answer that question to a person?
I'll say, you know what, it's definitely personal. A lot of people they tend to find God in different ways in their lives, and individually, I didn't like find God because I met Sonny and said, "Hey man, you made me find God, bro." It's like personal, like my daily life, my daily struggle. You know, like in this country right now, when you look at, you know, I've never seen people mention God so much ever in this country, and it's kind of tripping me out because I'm just like, wow, man. I mean, this is a country that has God on its dollar bill, and I've never really heard people talk about God this much, and it's definitely personal, and it's just sad that it took a tragedy like this for people to acknowledge that there is a God that this country was founded on.
Very well said. Drew?
I was just thinking I did an interview with it was an Australian television company or something one time, and I forget what the topic was even. And she was interviewing different countries, and I said, well, anything different in the United States compared to the others? And she said, oh yeah, I can't do an interview for more than 2 minutes without somebody bringing up God. Without a religion coming up immediately. That's completely different as relative to other countries.
I think people are just looking for answers. It's this whole tragedy. Some people want to know something, and so I think now it's just kind of like, hey, well, if there's a God, what's going on? And I think it's just natural for people to say, hey, God, what is going on? If you're out there, if you're real, how did this happen? And so I think there's just
how did this happen to America?
Right, there's just questions that people are searching.
Yep.
Drew?
Yep.
You got another call there, Sean?
Yeah.
You're 23?
Hello?
What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you got a question? You're on with P.O.D.
Hey, what's going on?
What's up, man?
Uh-oh, he's got his radio on.
Put him on hold.
All right.
Hello?
His question is, he wants to know if this could escalate into a global war. And here's the thing. There's a couple things I keep hearing about this war. One is they say this is going to be unlike the other wars. But it strikes me that most wars we've had, they announce this is going to be unlike the other wars.
Yeah.
I mean, if you think about it, Vietnam was a very different kind of war than World War II. World War II was different in the sense of there was, the airplane didn't factor in World War I, and the airplane practically won the war in World War II. But I think every time there's a war, somebody somewhere announces this is a new war. Do you know what I mean?
It's an armed conflict between nations. There's no nation fighting here.
Yeah,
I do agree that it's different, but I think to think that it wouldn't be different would be naive. Do you know what I'm saying?
Right.
That it's always going to be different, and that's almost kind of the nature of it.
It makes them different.
I think it's more of a test, man. Sometimes, a lot of people want to see what they can get away with America, and I think we really have to, defend ourselves. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. But, when people talk about... Oh, hold on a second, Drew. I'm yapping.
No kidding.
People, how dare you? You fly off to New York because someone dropped a roll of nickels. You leave me to get my ass kicked here with P.O.D., and then you critique my very insightful views on war. How dare you? All right, here's what I wanted to say. People are looking for a time limit on this war, too. Is it going to be 3 years? Is it going to be 5 years? Is it going to be 10 years? To me, it's just going to be an ongoing sort of way of life. And that doesn't mean a horrible way of life. It just means we cannot have one eye closed anymore.
Like we did before.
We have to live a certain way of life, and it's a way of life that makes us aware of what's around us, and maybe that means we're more aware to appreciate certain things that we should be appreciating, which I'm seeing now. I'm seeing people, at the football games, and they're singing, God Bless America, and they're doing the Star Spangled Banner, and people are appreciating it. They're listening to the words, and they're singing along. And so for as much bad awareness, like we take an extra hour at the airport, there might be good awareness, like you telling your wife you love her when you were taking her for granted before. Not me, but you telling your wife. Dustin? Yeah. No, I have a girlfriend. Thank you. That was very poignant. Very much in love. Dustin?
Yeah.
You're 18. What's up?
What's up? First, I just want to say what's up to P.O.D. Sonny and Wolf, I met you guys 2 years ago at Spirit West Coast.
Right on.
And recommitted my life. Just want to say thanks for that.
Right on,
my question is, I got a girlfriend. She's half black, and all my boys are pretty down on it.
Why?
Yeah, why?
Where are you from?
Salt Lake.
No, yeah.
Yeah, and
Come on, you guys.
Well, Salt Lake, come on. What do you expect?
How old is she?
She's 17.
Okay.
Speaking of religion, I don't know where that religion excludes certain races.
Well, they're they're uptight over there. You can have 10 wives as long as one of them's not mulatto.
Hey, we didn't say nothing. That's Adam over here.
How do you feel about her?
I think she's cool. I haven't been with her that long. It's nothing real serious, but I just don't think it's cool. My friends are down on that.
You just got to put your friends in check, man. If that's, straight up, if one of my friends was saying something that I just felt uncomfortable about, you got to address that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And if they blow you off, you really got to tell them you're serious, you know?
Yeah.
It's all about communication, you know?
Yeah, and also it's how you define your friends at a certain point. I mean, if you got friends that are, skinheads, then they shouldn't be your friends. It's okay not to like people who are bad, even if they're good to you.
Yeah. Plus, you got to do what you want to do, not what your friends tell you to do.
Hey, if you're down with the brown, it's all good.
I'm not sure about the blacks. Oh, please, Anderson, Jesus Christ!
See, man, you out of town right now.
Yeah, and by the way, that's totally out of context because we were talking about checkers, and I said I always played red, and you had to have been there, but it had nothing to do with ethnicity.
I thought it was roulette we were talking about.
Right, I mean roulette. We're talking about roulette. That's right. I was going to Vegas. Hey, Dustin.
Yeah.
Listen, if you're into her, you stay with her.
If she's a beautiful person, man, then
go for it.
Yeah, she's cool.
Exactly.
All right.
Cool. Hey, can I say one more thing?
Yeah.
Hey, you guys are coming to Salt Lake, though. I'm looking forward to seeing it.
Yeah, we're going to be there for the first time, man.
Yeah, that's never played Salt Lake.
And
10 years of being a band.
Drew, give your explanation about the mutts again, would you please?
About genetic diversity?
Yeah. I like this one, and it works, I think.
That healths of populations of any biological systems are improved by genetic diversity, meaning the more you mix the genes, the more the population evolves.
Right.
Yeah. So if you isolate a genetic pool, that's how you get inbreeding of diseases and things like that. That's why when you inbreed dogs, they tend to get medical problems and hip problems, and they're not so healthy.
Purebred dogs have bad hips, and their livers explode when they're like 5 years old. But when you get those mutts, they live forever. They're ugly, but they live forever.
Occasionally beautiful.
Occasionally super hot. Yeah, but usually really bad. And then they eat stuff like rope and stuff. Are we talking about dogs?
Yeah, you are.
Oh, okay.
I hope.
P.O.D. is here. We're going to take ourselves a little break. We're discussing tolerance and mainly that, but we'll talk about anything you want to talk about. If you got questions for P.O.D., that's great, too. We'll hear something off the new CD satellite when we come back. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew. He's over there in New York. Phone number, 1-800-LOVE-191. P.O.D.'s our guest tonight. Trey, Sonny, and Marcus are all here. Is it Marcos?
Marcos.
Sorry, it's Marcos.
It's Marcos. It's Marcos,
Marcos on the thing. Sorry about that. Drew?
Yep.
You doing all right over there?
Doing great.
Drew's just kicking it.
I'm going to be in New York tomorrow, actually. Where are you going to be? Back here?
Somewhere where you're not.
Oh, Drew. Drew, pouting. Please, after our bonding on the road, we were in Ohio State. We were at Ohio State yesterday, right?
Was that yesterday?
I don't know. Was it? No, I swear it was yesterday. I flew home yesterday.
Right.
Good times.
You did it the day before. Yeah.
All right.
That was fun.
Hey, I think we're going to be there on Halloween.
You went lean up on that mic, Trey. When are you going to be in Ohio State?
Halloween, I think. 30th October.
Hey, Trey, you got to go. You got to put your hands over your head and go O-H. Just remember that.
H.
Just yell that.
When you get there, because they'll go nuts.
Well, Trey's from Cleveland.
Just yell O-H.
Yep.
And they'll do the I-O.
I-O.
Brian?
You got him on.
Brian?
Brian?
Yes?
Hey.
That's you. You're 24. What's up?
Hey, guys. This is Brian. You also know me as DC Warrior.
Oh, what up, big man?
What up, dog?
Oh, fellas.
How you doing?
I'm all right. Hey, Adam, first of all, I think you're hilarious.
Oh, thanks.
99% of things I disagree with you on, but I think you're hilarious, so.
All right, well, we agree on that.
Right on.
Hey, guys, I guess this has to do with tolerance. There's a question about a song on the CD here, Anything Right. A lot of people are wondering exactly who you're singing to and what it's about. So I think we have an idea, but I just want to get y'all's thoughts on it.
I don't think it pinpoints anyone in particular, you know. I think just as us and being us of faith and the industry that we're in, it's like no matter what you do, there's always someone that has an opinion. There's always someone that has something to say that...
The critics.
On both sides.
You know, on both sides. Whether we believe the same, whether we don't, there's always someone that's got to talk louder than you know. So for us, like, we're just being us, you know. This is P.O.D. we do...
Like for Drew, it's Adam.
Right. Shut up, Drew. I can hear you thinking.
So it's not anyone in particular, you know.
It's a plethora.
No matter what you go through, there's always going to be someone that disagrees or is trying to tear you down. So you just got to keep your head up.
Well, then another quick question for those people
Be
that...
thankful you don't have to work with them every night.
That's right.
I think you guys are closer than you know.
Oh, yeah, there's love.
Oh, yeah.
There's love.
There's love in this room.
Lots of love. Go ahead, Brian. What's that?
Quick question for the guys. What about the people that always asking, do you cuss on your CD? Are you Rastafarian, and do you smoke pot? Clear that up for them.
Of course not, man.
Yeah.
You know, it just,
I know the answer. I just want everyone else to hear it.
It gets so petty where people, they try to look into so much stuff, you know. Marcos writes something on his thanks, and it could even be a typo, and it's like, oh my gosh, I think he said this or he said that. You know, honestly, it's like, if you don't, who has that much time to look so closely in those things,
I think
you know?
some people sit down sometime and actually are looking for
That's
stuff.
just it. You can't do anything right. There's people that they're just waiting to point their fingers at you, man.
One other thing, too, man, no matter what you believe in, I mean, no one's ever perfect.
Exactly.
You know, and people seem to think, like, P.O.D. is, like, perfect, and we're not. Oh, and I'm, like, sitting there going, you know what, man? I'm just as human as anyone else, and...
It almost makes it real hard, because it's like you're always trying to watch your back. You know, the moment you stub your toe and say a curse word, instantly you're the bad guy, you know?
And I stubbed my toe
It's so hard to live up to.
So we're just trying to be gentlemen, dude. Straight up, man. You know what I mean?
Aaron?
Oh, hey.
What's up? You're 15.
Yeah, I never realized how much of time delay there is on this thing.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people commenting about nuclear attacks on Afghanistan. And I just want to say, clear it up, you know, that won't work. You know, I'm tired of hearing it, because...
Wait a minute, who's commenting on that?
Oh, I'm from... Monterey, California, where our radio stations are huge talk things, and people calling up.
I don't believe that there's anybody in any kind of position of power or import that says we should bring out nuclear weapons against Afghanistan. Do you?
Yeah. No.
Well, these are yokels who are calling the show drunk, saying nuke them towel heads. But nuke means microwave too. You know, I mean. I don't think they're serious about it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's just completely not possible, because there's like 8 other countries that completely hate our guts that will return 20 of them, especially Russia, because we stopped them from invading Afghanistan in the Cold War.
Yeah, but I don't think Russia would return nuclear strike on us if we did something to Afghanistan. Do you?
Oh, yeah, if we nuked them, they would.
I don't believe they would. First off, they'd like to see them nuked more than we would. I mean, we were the ones who were helping Afghanistan. Didn't you see Rambo 3?
Yeah.
I mean, everyone go out and rent. Is it Rambo 3? Go out and rent Rambo 3. It's all spelled out very clearly.
That movie's 16 years old. The movie's 16 years old. He's 15.
You
didn't see that.
Go rent Third Blood. Or whatever it is. I don't know what they call it.
First Blood.
Well, it makes sense that they would call it Third Blood.
What do you think we should do as a country, then?
Us as a country, we should for right now, I have a big theory on this, but for a while, we should get our priorities straight and what we should do with the other countries, because there's a couple of countries that are pretty much in ruins that we have to deal with still, and we need to straighten out some of our problems before excuse me, before we go into...
All right, Aaron,
I just got to say this one thing, man.
Aaron, you have no plan, right?
Yeah.
Is that what
what if that was one of your family members on one of them planes? That's all I got to say, man. What are you going to say?
Yeah, I can extend the emotional issues.
All right, listen.
Or the next plane.
Well, here's the deal. Listen, I'm getting on a plane tomorrow, Drew, please. Here's what I think.
I'm going to tell you this much, man. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
we have signals down. We sit in different seats.
Right.
And we're always like, that guy looks suspicious. I give you a 2. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's bad.
And that's bad.
You do that thing with the Navy SEALs, too, where you pop your head out of the water, you do that, you do too, and, you know. Yeah, here's what I think we ought to do. I don't think we should use nuclear arms on other countries, but I think we should bomb one of our own states, like
Get rid of
like
one
a
that we don't
smaller
need.
one, like Arkansas, or something that's unimportant. Maybe Rhode Island, and say, do you see how badass we are? We just did it to ourselves. Do you see how nuts? You're messing with madmen over here. Do you understand? If we're willing to nuke ourselves, imagine what we do to you.
Yeah.
I think that's good. It's like when a real badass guy punches himself in the head a couple of times, and you look at him and you go, no, I'm not messing with him. He's crazy.
Breaks a bottle over his head.
He breaks a bottle over his own head and smacks himself in the head a few times. I always like that. I think we need that, and I haven't decided on the state, but listen, we got enough of them.
Yeah.
We could waste one.
Is that what you're thinking?
Well, just one. Let's give everyone a 48-hour heads up.
Man.
Let them move out. These are. I haven't thought these out yet, but
you're tripping.
Not bad plans.
You're
all right, now, you guys aren't with me on this.
Hey, Adam.
Yeah.
How about a song?
All right. What song? You want to hear the dreidel song, or you want to hear the theme from Taboo 2? Oh, you talking about from the band?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh, you want to hear one from P.O.D? Okay. All right, we'll do that. All right, no, I'm not going to start singing that, please. This is off of Satellite, which is the new CD from P.O.D. You queued up there, Anderson? Yep. This one's called Alive. That is P.O.D. Satellite's the name of the new CD. That's Alive, of course. We're going to take ourselves a quick break. Drew's over there in New York, and we'll be back with more of your questions, calls, and comments, and P.O.D. after this. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That is Dr. Drew over there in New York. Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Drew, I think nuking one of our own states is almost as good an idea as moving Israel to Baja, which was one of my other brilliant plans to cure my world peace plans. A lot of real estate in that area. Mexico could use a few Jews over there to sort out some of the numbers, crunch a few numbers. That's all I'm saying. A beautiful ocean there.
Just as long as they don't change the food.
No, they changed breakfast. They changed to breakfast because the Jews will do that.
Down with the carne asada burrito, right?
Listen, I'm down with
chorizo.
I'm down with all Mexican food, but I do got to say this: there's not a lot of variation in the Mexican food. It's the beans, the rice, the beef, and the cheese and the tortillas, and that could cover any meal: breakfast, lunch, or dinner.
Yeah.
Do you guys have brunch? Does Mexico have brunch?
What's that?
No, but if Mexico had brunch, it would be beef, cheese, tortillas, rice, and beans.
And tripas.
Pan.
What's a tripas?
Pig intestines.
Oh, yeah. Oh, like tripe. Yeah.
Tripe, yes.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. They're into that menudo and all those parts we throw away. They make a soup out of it. And, it cures everything.
Hey,
but
the first boy band, man. What's up? Menudo.
Love is in here, by the way, filling in for Trey.
We're tag teaming. We're giving
doing
each other
a
little
flip flop. All right, P.O.D., our guest, Satellite, name of the CD. Let's take ourselves a call that has a question about the last song, Alive. Jacob?
Oh, yeah. Hey, Adam, you rock. Drew, you rock. And
Great.
I just love you guys.
Thank you.
Okay, I have two questions. My first is for P.O.D. What was your inspiration for writing that song Alive?
Good times.
Yeah, just being happy to be alive, man. I mean, when we were talking about it, when we were writing the song, we were like, hey, man, let's try to write something that's going to be positive to everybody. You know what? If you like hard rock or not, if you pop the CD and hopefully you feel alive,
we're not a real depressed band at all. We've never been a depressed band.
That's kind of nice and kind of refreshing.
Yeah, really.
So, I mean, whenever we write songs, most of the time they're uplifting and they're a feel-good type of song.
You know what?
Band union that requires depression.
Well, you see, that's the thing, though, and that's what I do like that about you guys, and that I think there's a lot of bands that aren't depressed, but they feel like they have to act depressed because their audience is depressed, and they don't want their audience to think they're having a good time without them. But meanwhile, these guys, they're driving around Vipers and living up in Malibu. What is there to really be depressed about?
Nothing. You can get over it real quick. You get that kind of money, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Depression.
They say it sells records these days, I guess.
Yeah, but you guys are selling plenty of records, and you're not depressed.
Before we wrote the lyrics, that song, even the music alone just made you feel good, playing in the studio. And so it kind of led the direction of the lyrics. It was like, man, we want to be positive always, and we want to be uplifting and encouraging. So it just kind of fell into place.
Hey, that was the whole thing about this record. We were totally just saying, you know what, we just want to be universal and positive.
Hey, Jacob?
Yeah.
Did that answer your question?
More than I wanted.
He had 2 questions.
Jacob.
Did you have another one?
Question 2.
Yeah. Okay, lately, my dad, my sister say that I've been crying in my sleep. And I just wonder what your opinion of that would be. Like, what could be the cause?
Crying in your sleep.
Yeah.
You sure you just haven't been wetting the bed and maybe they're being polite?
Well, I've been woken up because I laugh in my sleep. You know what I mean? My
Marcos
wife's
jiggles.
like tripping. She's like, "Oh my gosh, The Exorcist," and I'm like,
Is
"Dang."
anything bugging you, Jacob?
Well, about 6 months ago, my mother died.
Oh,
there you go.
But I don't know, that hit me really hard, but I came to grips with that. And
Yeah, but that takes a long time to really get over, and so that's probably what it is, Jacob.
Yeah, and sometimes what goes on in the sleep is obviously the subconscious, and you're letting yourself go at that point. So feelings that you may be holding back or repressing a little during the day may come out when you're in that state.
That's happened to me a couple times. I woke up crying because I've had dreams of my aunt or my grandfather that, passed on, and I would see them in my dream, and I would be so happy to see them.
Right.
And I'd be crying, and I'd wake up, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is so real. So
I didn't cry, but I fell asleep on an airplane to Minnesota last week, and I woke up and I had a boner. And it was humiliating. I was sitting totally true. I had the seat reclined. I was on my back. I had fallen.
You woke up because you're uncomfortable.
I had like a 3.
Did you have a blanket over that thing?
No.
Lady next to you was crying.
They were laughing.
I swear. I was wearing like those.
Coffee, sir?
I was wearing like those old Navy cargo pants that have almost no penis hold at all. Those things.
No, man.
I'd leaned back and I'd fallen asleep, and when I woke up, the boner was hanging right out.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was very humiliating.
That used to happen to me in gym class.
Yeah.
I'd be wearing sweats. I'd be like, "Dang, how am I going to get out of this?"
You fall
Could they really
asleep
tell
on
us?
your back, you'll get one. What?
Could they really tell?
Oh, how dare you.
man.
How dare you. They thought it was a weapon. They almost turned the plane around. Please. What an insult.
I think that's a little. Those dreams are different than my man's, though. I think what you said exactly. I think during the day, just trying to grip and
Keep it
cope with
together.
everything, keep it together, right? And then at nighttime, it just kind of comes out.
It feels like he's got to cope, but it really is kind of troubling.
Right.
Yeah, I understand that one, man. I lost my mom years ago, and I don't think you said it's only been 6 months, man. Don't give yourself a time limit. You know what I mean? You're always gonna go through those feelings and those emotions. So don't feel bad, man.
Amber,
Yeah.
you're 15. What's up?
I just think that it's really sad, all the intolerance that's going on. I've seen it happen at my school, a lot of it. My school's mainly like stoners and stuff, so they're like really numb, and they just really don't care. But to the Arab Americans at my school, and not even just them, but everyone that looks like it, they're just like, they're outsiders now.
Right. Where do you go to school?
Canoga Park High.
Oh yeah. So a lot of stoners, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's a horrible school.
Yeah.
You got to get out of there.
that little
Hey, that Canoga, you guys got a big pine trees out front of that school?
No,
All right. I'm thinking of something else.
that's probably El Camino.
Oh yeah, that is El Camino, but it's not too far, right?
No,
Thank
but that's like our rival school.
Oh, sorry, baby. All right. So anyway, how large is the Arab population at your school? Do you have any idea?
It's not very big, but like we're a pretty mixed school,
Right.
and you don't really see racial intolerance. But like this year, since this has happened, they're just kind of like on the outside now.
Have you
Have
seen?
they put themselves on the outside, or have you seen somebody do something to them to make them?
No, I didn't. I haven't seen them put themselves on the outside. I've heard people start talking about them when they walk by and stuff, like, oh, they smell, oh, they're gonna like bomb the school and stuff.
Have you?
You really, Amber?
Yeah.
Those are the words they've said.
Well, are they saying it to these people, or are they saying it behind their back?
Like behind their back.
Have they had any assemblies or any meetings or anything like that to deal with this?
No, I don't think anybody's like really taking it seriously.
So the school administration is not. You've not had any kind of assembly since the tragedy that's discussed these topics.
No, the day that it happened, teachers, every teacher in the school, put on the radio or a TV, and they were saying, you know what, whatever you do, don't take this out on your fellow students, and if we see you do that, we're going to do something.
Oh, well, that's something, right?
Yeah, they obviously have concern about it. Why don't you tell them that it's happening a little bit?
Yeah, I've told some people so.
All right.
You doing okay?
Yeah.
What color are you?
I look white, but I'm not.
Well, as long as you look white.
I may be white on the outside, but I'm brown on the inside. To the bone, that's it.
All right. Amber, you're all right.
Huh?
All right. Enjoy that Canoga Park High there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a great school. It's an institution is what it is. It's a learning
I just want to
institution.
know who put a color on what American is, you know what I mean?
Oh, I don't even know anymore. I mean, like I said, I grew up in the San Fernando Valley, so I've seen everything my whole life. And I don't know, maybe, I mean, do you think more of this is coming from parts of the country that are a little more isolated? Do you know what I'm saying?
I think it comes down to every individual. You have to ask yourself what kind of person you are. You know what I mean? It's cool that people address the whole thing, but I think once it comes down to it's who you are and what kind of person you are. You know what I mean? How you're going to react to people. I think obviously everybody's going to be nervous and scared. You know, like I heard these stories of these planes that had like full flights and those like 3 Middle Easterns there, and they all said they were going to leave the plane if they didn't get off, and they actually had to get off the plane.
Did they?
Yeah, it happened like 5 different times on these different flights.
I've been hearing that too.
And that's hardcore, man. I mean, that's wrong, but it just what are you going to do in that situation? It's
people
like,
are scared, you know. People
don't know how to. Naturally, people are going to be scared. That's just natural,
right?
But I mean, it just comes down to individually what type of person you are and how you're gonna stand up for it.
But then calling people names and then
that's whack.
Acts of violence, and that's just coward. You know, it's ridiculous.
Right. And I get the feeling that these people who are perpetrating this kind of racial violence would, if it weren't for this, they would do something else that was equally as ugly someplace, sometime.
For a story to jump on or something.
Absolutely. All right, we got to take ourselves a break. P.O.D. is our guest tonight. Drew's over there in New York, and we'll be back with more of your questions and thoughts after this. Hey, everybody. Loveline. I'm Adam. That's Drew over there in New York tonight. You at Westwood 1, Drew?
Yep.
Good times. Getting a little late over there for you?
Yeah.
Phone number 1-800-LOVE-191. Love, Sonny, and Marcos are all here from P.O.D. Satellite's the name of the CD. It is in stores, hopefully, if it's not sold out. Mm-hmm. It is in stores as we speak. The guys are going to be playing tomorrow live on Kevin and Bean on K-Rock, the mother station out here. So anyone out in the Los Angeles area is going to want to check that out. Gumby is on line 6. Hey, Gumby. All right. Gumby's clay phone is not working very well. Let's talk to Kim, who is 28. Kim?
Hey, what's up?
What's up?
Hi. Yeah. Okay. I guess, I'm Christian, but I'm not very proud of it because, I don't know. I'm really embarrassed to be calling right now, by the way. Okay, don't make fun of me. Anyhow, I'm just, ready to convert to, John Lennon at this point. I am, Christian, pro-life, everything, but I'm at the point where I have an appointment with a nun next week because I'm just questioning religion right now. I mean, I just think it's pretty sick that it's all come down to killing people to make change.
Well, what are you talking about as far as Christianity goes?
There's been racism going on forever, and nobody's recognized it. I mean, I've grown up in this honky-tonk small town of Snoqualmie Valley, Fall City. And
that's in Washington?
Yes, Washington State.
And?
Yes. And I don't know. I mean, it's just I work at this shelter this weekend and teens, and I'm not even really stable right now with this whole situation that's going on, and I'm stuck with these teens trying to, be professional and strong, but I'm a nervous wreck, and...
Well, why are you a nervous wreck?
Why am I nervous wreck?
Yeah.
What do you think?
Well, no...
Take a look around.
I know, because of the events.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Okay.
All right.
Anyway.
Well, listen, don't be a smart ass and a nervous wreck.
Oh, yeah. You're never a smart ass, are you?
Be one of the. Well, look, honey, why are you so angry?
Why am I so anxious? Because this is bullshit.
Oh. Well, she's got quite a tongue on her for a Christian. Wow. All right, we put her on hold for a second because she used the S word, which I'm not sure if that's in the Bible. I haven't looked at it in a while.
Maybe the scriptures.
Well, New Testament, sure, but the Old Testament, I don't think I had that. Kim is like kind of agitated and angry, and I realize it's not a great time for any American or anybody who calls themselves a friend of this country, but I've been pretty satisfied overall with the way this country is rallied and sort of picked itself up by its bootstraps and all. I mean, to me, there's been a lot of things that have been pretty promising that have come from this tragedy.
I don't understand why it's okay for her to be hateful towards you, but other people,
I think
I don't know.
She's just kind of scattered because of the events, but it sounds like she's talking about the letdown of most people that call themselves Christians. She's confused maybe by their actions or maybe what they say and what they've done. It sounds like she's let down more by people rather than
is it maybe by, was it Farwell who had the comments on the 700 Club?
Let's hear her.
Hey, Kim, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right.
I'm sorry. No, I think you guys are doing a great thing. I mean, just because I don't agree with everything you say, doesn't...
you're entitled to that.
Everything is so...
jacked up.
You try to do your best, and everybody's always judging you, for everything. And it gets old. I mean, I guess like I told you, Screener, I work at a shelter, and this weekend I wanted to take them. I was scared to go to Seattle, just because I've heard rumors flying. Anyway, so I took them out to the country, and this black girl, she was like scared to come out here because we're all crackers and we're all honky-tonker, There's still are rednecks out there that exist. I know. I grew up out here, and so, I mean...
Right.
And it's just sad that she has to be scared to come out here to a farm, She enjoyed herself. She fed the animals. She picked some flowers, and she actually had fun. And I just think everybody's in denial, and...
well, wait a minute. Kim, she did come out to the farm, and she had a good time, and you've converted her, in a sense.
No,
Well, wouldn't you say that you've changed her a bit in some of the thoughts that she had?
No, I think it's just sad. I mean, it's just still out there. I mean, and I am pro-life, but that doesn't mean I hate people who have abortions, and it doesn't mean I want people to die. It's just...
You're categorizing it. I mean...
Kim, are you sure working with kids is the greatest field for you?
You know what?
Yeah.
I don't need you to ask me that.
Well, I just mean you seem pretty scattered.
I am scattered right now.
All right. Well, calm down.
Actually, I am scattered, and I'll admit that, and that's because...
You're lesbian.
True. Please, you're making things worse. I know. He didn't mean that. He was...
I'm totally into guys.
I think she just threw the F word in there.
To Drew.
Oh my God.
I think if you're somebody who has faith and who loves God, I think you're more grounded than anything. I don't think you're as scattered, as far as minds going.
I just think people they get confused about comparing like religion is one thing and having a personal relationship is a whole nother thing. And religion is something you do because dang, I have to do my chant today, or I got to do my ritual.
Right.
You know what, man? There ain't nothing to just have. It's personal, man. Like, I talk to God like how I talk to you. Exactly. I ain't trying to be all like...
We ain't holy one canoe.
Yeah, I ain't like holier than thou. I'm just a normal, average person that's just trying to make it every day.
It sounds like she's a good person, and she's just like anybody else. She's trying to help out some teenagers and stuff, and you're doing a good thing. It's okay to be scattered once in a while, just don't let it get the best of you.
She used the S word and the F word.
I'm confused right now,
Unchristian and hateful way.
All right. Well, let me say this. Let me say this, and I think I was feeling this from Kim, which is there's a lot of people out there who are feeling like they're under a lot of pressure and that maybe things in their life aren't going according to plan. And then when a tragedy like this happens, it opens the floodgates. And there's a lot of feelings Some are attached to the tragedy, but some are just feelings that have been locked up for a while and are now spilling out. And I felt some of those spilling out from Kim. Did you get that vibe, Drew?
Absolutely.
Well, you know what? I think as Americans and as people, I totally, I'm not trying to get all like this and stuff, but at the same time, I'm scared. When this stuff went down, I was like, my wife's like telling me, don't hop on a plane. It's a bad time. We're about to go to war. But at the same time, I know what we do, and we've always done it for the past 10 years, is try to uplift people with music.
Right.
And if I decide to say, I'm not going to do this no more because I'm scared,
right,
then they got the best of me, those guys that did that. And
right.
the thing is, as Americans, I think we can't let our life be ruled by fear. You know what I'm saying?
A lot of talk recently about the Battle of Britain, where Britain was under constant bombing siege for a long period of time, and Churchill stood up and said, "Get about your business." And so they would protect themselves during the bombing, then they would come out from the bomb shelters, and they would go back to work and go back to school, and they were able to prevail because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, England was bombed for years by the Germans constantly, and it didn't demoralize them. And the fact that they weren't demoralized, I think, demoralized Germany.
Right.
Right.
Darren.
Yes.
You're 24. What's up?
Hey. Hey, Adam. Hey, Drew. Well, I have a question and a comment. Well, first of all, I just want to thank the show for being a source of therapy for me for the last 10 years, and just want to say thanks for that.
Oh, sure.
But, well, my comment is that basically, I do agree with you, Adam, that, overall this country has handled the situation pretty well. But, a lot of your responses to a lot of Arabic American callers, that express fear of discrimination is that, is there any fatality? And I just want to tell you that, there has been. I think there's been like about 10.
Well,
Five are in Texas.
Well, I had stated that a week ago, or maybe even more than a week ago now, when somebody was saying that it was sort of out of control, that there was all this bashing going on, and at that point there had not been a fatality.
Yeah.
And I basically said that I don't agree with it, and wrong is wrong. But if there's been no fatalities, you can't say it's out of control. You know what I mean? One is bad, and anything is bad. But to say that this country has, all turned on Arab Americans and that there's been no fatalities, and again, this was over a week ago I stated this, is not, to me, a problem that is out of control at that point. That's just what I was saying.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's out of control like it would be in the Middle East, but I think 10 is still a lot. And I think a lot of people should listen to, President Bush and all the politicians that, said, we shouldn't suspend the civil liberties of Arabic Americans because of this. But I do know that there's a lot of rednecks who are ready to take advantage of this situation to engage in their agenda.
Right.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And, I bet in any given, 2 week or week and a half period in this country, there's a certain amount of that goes on, that would go on anyway.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And certainly in certain parts of this country.
Yeah.
I just say this, it just really, a lot of people are just getting hyped up by the media, and they just, they shouldn't mistake.
They're trying to vent.
Yeah, they shouldn't let their fear turn into hatred, you know what I mean?
But I think there's a lot of fear out there, too, and I think that's real because I've watched the news, and they said that Arabic American stores are being burned, and this bread delivery guy, some guy drove up to him and said, go back to where you belong,
Yeah, that's sad, man.
That's foolish.
That's really sad. It's just, it's scary, too, man, when you look at the news and you see people after this happened to us, jumping around giving candy out to everybody over there. And I saw this on the news, and I was kind of tripping. I was like,
yeah,
you know what?
Right.
That sucks because
it makes you angry.
Yeah, it makes you mad. So
Right.
I think people have a hard time dealing with their feelings, man.
And that was isolated too. I mean, we shouldn't. And we all saw the news footage of them celebrating.
They don't explain that. It's just you just see the clip on TV.
Right, and you think the whole country is taking the day off in celebration when it's a small group that is celebrating it, and we shouldn't think their whole country is that way, and we shouldn't be judged because some hick threw a brick Wait a minute, I got to find something that rhymes with at some chic. No, that's chic. All right. And the point is we shouldn't be judged for a couple of rogue guys who do a couple of horrible things either.
Well, it's like you said, for every idiot that's doing something like that, there's hundreds of people that are helping out,
millions,
and doing awesome things.
Millions.
Right.
All right. Hey, Gumby, you back?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, you're 16. What's up?
Well, I just want to ask, I think mainly Sonny about the 2 songs that I've heard off their, one off the Brown LP, which is Full Color, and how he talks about getting up and getting shot in, how should I say it, about getting up and how he shot the 2 people, the lady and the baby, and how that relates to...
No, that's not.
No, that's a different song.
That's Live or Die, I think, on Brown AP.
Oh, yeah, sorry, and how it's like Youth of the Nation on the new LP, on the new album.
Oh, Youth of the Nation?
What's your question?
I think you got it confused. He didn't say he shot.
Yeah, he didn't. Story behind it, should I say?
Which one? Live or Die, Full Color, Youth of the Nation?
What? I guess what he just said is the
Live
violence.
and Die and Youth of the Nation, because it kind of sounds the same.
Storytelling, you know.
Yeah, I think that's the most similarities. Just it's more storytelling. You know what I'm saying? Brown's an older album, and I think that had to do more with gang violence. You know, a story of gang violence. Whereas Youth of the Nation on the new album, I think it just talks about more of where our kids are at today. You know, and being inspired by the Santee shooting. You know, being that we were a mile away, and always kind of wanting addressing this issue. It just kind of came up in a song, you know.
We had done a couple.
That was a school shooting, by the way, about it. Was it about a year ago in San Diego, or is it 6-8 months ago?
No, just a few months ago, yeah.
Well, we went out there, Drew, right? We went out to San Diego just a week or so.
We were writing this record like a couple blocks away.
Right.
Wow.
When this happened, so.
Geez, the school shootings seem so quaint now compared to what's going on. It's like, if we could just get back to the good old days with some school shootings. What a great world! And I mean, it's so. The
world keeps topping itself.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I know it sounds horrid and morbid. But it was like the school shootings were almost an innocent time. like it sounds ridiculous, but
That's how numb we are, man.
Yeah,
that's how numb everybody.
All right, Gumby. I hope that answered it for you.
I hope you have the Gumby hairdo.
Let's talk to Angela, who's 27. Angela,
hi there.
What's up?
Hey, first I want to commend you guys for doing such a wonderful job. I've listened to your show on and off for the last few months, and I really enjoy it. It's uplifting, and you're getting out there and really making a big difference. So I think it's awesome. Hey, from not a recent immigrant, I've been here for about 5 years, but coming into the country and seeing what's going on at the moment, I've got sort of a couple of issues that I wanted to bring up that hasn't really been brought up so far tonight. And we're talking about intolerance, and it's really kind of, I've noticed quite a bit in the community I live in, which is very diverse. I'm in San Jose in California. I've noticed that there's been so many different reactions, even going to the airport, on how people are reacting as far as security, but more so towards each other, and it's like really brought out the best and the worst of human nature. I had a question to you guys whether, a couple of times tonight it's been brought up, the issue of going to war and religion, of course, with P.O.D, who are a wonderful band. I love listening to you guys too. But whether or not, for a start, war is the right way to go, of course, that would be the big issue, and we don't know until we actually get there whether or not, going out there and retaliating and 2 wrongs don't make a right. That was one thing that really concerns me, and I'm sure it does everyone else. But also the way that we are responding to our peers and to our neighbours and fellow citizens and all across the world, whether or not we're actually learning what we should be out of this.
Which is what?
Well, I kind of feel like sometimes... I notice myself, as you've said tonight several times too, that you kind of have to stop and think about how you're reacting to people, or not trying to be racist or prejudiced against a specific ethnic group. And it's hard not to, the way it's been portrayed in the media. It's like a big propaganda.
But you said we should stop and get a message in terms of our relationship with the world based on this experience. What would that be?
Get a message.
Isn't that what you said?
Say that again, sorry?
I thought you said, didn't I hear her say that we should be getting a message
I think
learning
so,
something?
but you may have gotten lost in
I'm going over
Kiwi accent.
Yeah.
You don't mind being called a Kiwi, do you, by the way?
I'm trying to get out 100 things at once, and they're all getting jumbled.
But what is a good derogatory term for a New Zealander?
There isn't a good. Is there ever a good derogatory term?
Well, I mean, I just mean in case one cuts me off, I want to be able to yell something good. And a Kiwi sounds so quaint, you know.
Give me some foresight here into where this conversation's going.
Oh, okay. Well, listen.
And what you know else is funny is that just because she has a little bit of the Queen's English, immediately we sit and listen. Like the teacher's talking.
It was dead silent. It was dead silent.
I know, it's so sad that we had to import someone in order to get a concise question on this show. But Angela has asked some good questions, but I'm still not clear what her overall one is.
Yeah,
and I'm not sure if she is either.
I'm going to war.
Yeah, no, I've got several things that are kind of that I wanted to talk about, but they're not really questions. It's sort of like putting things out there.
Okay.
The war thing, I don't personally agree that war's an answer to this, and I don't think that, the majority of the population do as well, but I kind of feel like we're getting pushed into that. I feel like we're getting fed it through the propaganda of the media.
Well, you see, hold on, let me cut you off, because I disagree with that. I think, I don't think the media is going to. I think it's too convenient and too easy to blame the media for everything. I mean, this country, whether it's music, blue jeans, or late night TV, we watch what we want to watch, and then the media jumps on. It's not the media telling us what to watch, what to listen to, and what clothes to buy. I think we as consumers or we as Americans start the trend, and the media climbs on board. Maybe they perpetuate it after we get it started, but I don't think they could create something that we didn't want to do. If the media decided, hey, there's this band we really want to push, but the music really sucked, I don't think it would. They might sell a few more records, but it would never catch on.
Yeah. In fact, the polls suggest that the American population is sort of too anxious to get involved in sort of military operations.
That's what I wanted to tell Angela, that if you stopped most Americans in the street, most are eager, maybe too eager for a little payback. I don't think it's the media foisting that on us.
Listen, I'm not always for war and stuff, but at the same time, I mean, if we don't do something about it, don't you think people are going to just take that
All I know is that when we have patients that escalate and become aggressive, okay, which is basically what we're dealing with here. We're dealing with people that are aggressive and are out of control.
Yeah.
The only, and I mean the
You're
only
talking
thing,
about your psychiatric patients? Or
in psychiatric hospitals
right?
and things.
Okay.
When you're dealing with people in clinical settings, the only thing they respond to is overwhelming force. You don't have to be violent with them, but you have to make a show of overwhelming force, and then they de-escalate.
Yeah.
And
I think we definitely have to do something about it, because, I mean, if we don't, I think terrorists are going to say, oh, they didn't do nothing about it. I'm just going to do it
this
again.
might be something of the tolerance the U.S. has had to, this place. It's like we just sit there and we take it, and all of a sudden it goes to this.
Right.
And it's like, dude, we have to do something.
I was saying last week that we're like a big, strong, good-looking jock with low self-esteem. This country, that we could kick the ass of anyone else in our school, but we feel so bad about ourselves most of the time that we're scared, and so we let guys kick us in the nuts and run, and we just stand there and argue over whether we should do anything or not. I mean, look, let's face it. This is I don't know if this is the best nation on earth, but I do know this. This nation has the ability to dismantle any other nation on this planet 10 times over, and we have had that ability for quite a few years, and we have not done it. Yeah, we've had some bad moments, and we've had some foreign policies that, looking back on those, probably wasn't the greatest foreign policy, but how many other countries could have the ability to come over here and take us apart and not do it, knowing that they would have an easy victory? And I think that says a lot for this country. Every time someone wants to beat this country up, and it's usually one of our own who wants to beat us up, the fact that we could smash just about anyone else on the planet, and we've not done that, is pretty damn. It shows that we're decent people.
We need to take care of the bully in this situation.
I think
you know what I'm saying? It's like
everybody's aggressive, and we're not. We're just sitting back.
Yeah, it's like a bully goes up to your kid at school, and you're just like, you know what? Unless he touches you, don't hit him back. We don't want to encourage fighting. But you know what? They've done some low blows, man.
They killed our families, man. You know what I mean? They killed our peoples without even thinking about it.
They blew up a boat, you know what I mean? And we know this stuff, and it's at the same time you got to say, you know what? We have to do something about this.
We have to, man.
I totally concur, and I think the only problem is, and I think we can all agree on this, is we want to make sure we punish the right bully.
Right. Yeah.
Right. And that bully is running around in a place with a lot of bullies that look like him, and we're not sure which one was the guy who kicked us in the nuts.
I think it's people are getting confused with us just saying we want to go over there and just blow the whole country up. You know what I mean?
Right.
I think we have to think about it. You know what I mean? And try to strategize.
And I believe, by the way, I mean, we're coming on 2 weeks without a retaliatory strike, and it's that is what we're in the process, hopefully, of doing. But when we do discern who and where, I'd like to...
We're talking thousands and thousands of people. This is not like some little thing that just went down. This is major.
Right.
You know what I mean? This is huge. And for the U.S. to even think about sitting back and just saying, well, this is the way it's going to be, you know, it's unacceptable. I think the people of America...
forget the U.S., the world.
Yeah, the world.
Has to respond to that.
Right.
Yeah, and the whole world's hurting over this now.
And I think for one of the few times we do have these folks, other countries, are united with us on this, and hopefully they'll help out with the bully whooping. All right, we're going to take ourselves a little break. P.O.D. is here. We'll be back. We'll hear something else off the new CD satellite. We'll take more of your questions and comments after this. Hey, y'all, it's Loveline. I'm Adam Carolla. That's Dr. Drew over there in New York City. And, Drew? So you say the mood there is what? How would you describe it?
Communal. It's like people are flipped out, and there's definitely a reaction.
Right.
But there's a remarkable degree of sort of dynamism and togetherness. A remarkable. I mean, it really was sort of striking to me.
All right. So I'm going there tomorrow. You're saying I may get laid?
Yeah, the strip clubs were very busy.
Unacceptable. All right. Well, Sonny and Marcos are here from P.O.D. We're going to hear something off the satellite CD, which is out in stores as we speak. I think we'll take a question from Josh, who's 19, and then we'll hear Youth of the Nation off the satellite. Josh?
Yeah.
You're 19?
Yes, I am.
What's up?
Well, I just wanted to first say, what's up to P.O.D. I think it's really cool you guys are in the mainstream and still are able to, express your faith and your belief in God and, basically just be totally unafraid of basically preaching that you're Christians and stuff like that. And the other thing I wanted to say is my girlfriend is Egyptian and Lebanese and even some Turkish, and her family, well, at least her grandparents are still Muslim.
Mm-hmm.
And her mom and her dad are Christians, and her grandparents are like the coolest people you could ever meet. I mean, they're total patriots of the U.S. They're they totally are true Muslims, and these terrorists that are being labeled as fanatical Muslims, I don't even think they should be called Muslims, because I mean, if you really look at the Islamic faith, it's actually all about loving everybody and loving your enemies and people who think differently than you, and just kind of embracing them as just all children of God, regardless of religion or race or any kind of ideology. And that's basically what I wanted to say.
Except when they're saying they're crying out jihad.
Well,
you know what I'm saying?
The jihad, actually, I talked to some people that I know that are Muslim, and all a jihad is like the equivalent of when Christians do spiritual warfare. It's nothing but praying. It's praying for your enemies and praying for things to change so actively and so hard that, and so it was such enthusiasm and passion that, things will change. That's all it really is.
Buddhist at that point.
Right.
And
all right, but yes, it means that for well over 99% of the Muslim population, but for a very small fringe element, it means war and war in the United States.
Exactly, but that's exactly why I don't think they should be called Muslims at all, because they hide behind the faith. I mean,
ignorant question.
Huh?
Is the restrictions on women because of the religious faith, or is that purely a cultural thing?
Absolutely not. What it is it's actually just it's basically a cultural thing. It's not a religious thing at all. In fact, women are supposed to be, as far as the Islamic faith is supposed to be, from what I've heard and from what I've been told by people who are Muslim, is women are supposed to be held in such a high regard. I mean, they're believed to be like one of the best gifts from God any man can receive, and they're supposed to be, totally loved. And
I think we'd all agree on that one. Yeah.
And I mean, that's how I feel personally, and I'm a Christian,
I think it's the same thing as how, you get these people bombing the abortion clinics, and these people that get on TV and preach and ask for their money, and they say, I'm a God-fearing Christian man.
Or the KKK.
Yeah, they're down with the KKK. It's like, that's not what being a Christian is, but it's the same thing as what people are looking at the Muslim thing. It happens. People just stereotype people, and that's just the way.
Or they stand up with signs and say that God hates homosexuals, but they're not that polite, and that's the same thing. And then people think like, oh, that's what Christian is, but
I don't want nothing to do with it.
Exactly, those are fools.
Those are sour apples.
Sour apples in the bunch.
Right, and there's per capita, there's probably more of them than there is fanatic Muslims.
Right.
I mean, if you really break it down. Now, to be fair to the fanatical Christians, they're beating up on gays. They're not flying planes into financial centers, which does up the ante just a little bit. Not that beating up on gays is good, but I'll take it over the World Trade Center. But that's the problem that I think a lot of people are having is it's such a small fringe element that is tainting in the eyes of many people that are sort of don't have the time. I mean, as Americans, we don't have a lot of time to put into world affairs and religions other than our own.
We always pinpoint things like that. We always make it a huge issue. Nobody ever wants to look at the person that says, hey, I love God, I'm a Christian, or whatever religion, and they're out serving their community, and they're raising awesome families, and they're out giving and doing whatever they can to help out. No one ever says like, that's awesome. But as soon as they do something wrong, it's like, I see what you're all about now. It's like, it's unfair.
Yeah, you got to understand something too, man. I mean, P.O.D.
Hold on, what's that, Drew? Are you saying something? Drew?
No, go ahead. When they're done, wait till they're finished.
All right, well, shut up. Go ahead.
I was going to say, man, P.O.D.'s definitely not about religion. You know, we never have, and a lot of times we get religious people that come out to our concerts, or they're picketing at our shows, and they're picketing saying that we're of the devil, and they got too many tattoos, or they listen to hard radical music. You know what?
Or we're not good enough.
We're not good enough, and that's what anything right on the record kind of can actually be associated with, I guess.
We're either good bad guys or bad good guys.
And the thing is we're just like, you know what? To set the record straight, we're just trying to just spread love through our music, man, and peace. You know what I mean?
And anybody could have. I can't understand anyone who would have a problem with that, but unfortunately
they do.
There are.
They do exactly.
Drew, what were you going to say?
I was just thinking about two other impressions I had about New York City that were different that you're going to find when you get here. One is there's a policeman on every corner.
Right.
I mean, huge show of force here.
Still not writing jaywalking tickets like they do out in L.A., though, right?
You can
just
walk
standing
right
there.
down the across the middle, and they stand, look right at you.
That's what I love about New York.
And as you go down to the World Trade Center, there's like 3 state troopers on every corner. And you know how the guys sell pictures of like New York City, the skyline pictures?
Right.
It's a little bizarre because the painted pictures and the photographic pictures, they're still on every corner selling, like really pushing the World Trade Center pictures.
Really?
It's just peculiar.
Right.
Yeah. Anything to make a buck, right?
Yeah, I mean, maybe they're now looking at it as some sort of
collector's
keepsake or something.
I've seen this thing on TV where they got these people trying to make these beams of light. They're going to take the place of the World Trade Center and the skyline.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's pretty nuts.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Like Vegas with the Excalibur.
I think it's pretty weird because we actually just did a show like a couple days before that. And a friend of mine in New York was like, we played in Battery Park, and he was like, hey, man, have you ever seen the towers up this close? And that was the first time I've ever seen them.
Really?
And
that was just a few days?
Yeah, we got home a couple days later, and then I woke up, and I thought it was a dream. I was like, what is this? And it just tripped me out, man.
Hey, Clank?
Yo.
Clank.
Fellas.
New York
dude,
Clank?
New York Clank.
Yes, this is East Coast Clank.
Yes.
What up, baby?
What up, dog?
I'm guessing you guys know Clank.
There's only one Clank.
There's only one Clank in this world.
Just like there's only one P.O.D. brothers. Much love from the East Coast.
Right on, man.
Listen, my question is, me and my fellas here have been talking about a lot of stuff. Now, think about growing up, what you heard about the tribulation, the end times, the revelation. Now, we were reading the paper over here in San Jose, and there's this cat that's saying that he wants to donate software so people can have, like, a picture ID, a thumbprint, all your information basically in, like, this one master computer. Doesn't it sound a little bit like the beginning of the end to you guys? Because it sure as hell is to us.
It's kind of scary.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, you know what? I just want to say this, dude. No one knows the time or the hour of anything, you know, and if you say you do, you're lying. So, you know.
I know, nobody knows, but it's trippy, dude, because we've been talking about this, and, you know, I just got back from there like a month ago, and then same just like you guys, I got woken up that day, and I was like, oh my God, what's going on?
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
it was freaky and everything, but now sitting back like 2 weeks later, this stuff starts settling in, and you saying, your brain starts moving, and you're seeing all these commercials on TV, and they're talking about trying to make a one world government and this and that, and now like everybody to have one major ID card, all your information in one computer, it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, but what do you guys? Thanks for the question, Clank. What about that? Because I know people are kind of freaked out about that, and they're always worried about the man and Big Brother and George Orwell and all that stuff. But to me, the righteous have nothing to fear. Right. I mean, I don't care if a guy's got my Social Security number, my picture, and my thumb. I just want to make it. I'll get through the airport that much faster because I'm not packing. Right. I mean, here's the thing, and I think
you're not.
Well, I wasn't.
You said you were.
I do get a boner on the plane, but that's different. But you know, here's what I think we do as a country is we try to do things like this every once in a while, and people speak up, and people say, no, we can't give these people this kind of information for fear of what they would do with it. But I don't think the government, and I know there's a lot of wackos that really have a lot of conspiracies, but I don't think the government is interested in punishing its citizens. I really don't. I think it would like to try to punish those who are planning on punishing the government or some of its citizens. And if to me, you pay your taxes and you're not a criminal and you're not violent, I don't think there's a big problem with that kind of stuff.
Not right now, man.
I mean, Clay, he just raised the question. It's like this is something that
the Bible's
obviously,
talking about
if he studied it and he knows about this, and all of a sudden it's like, wow, it's kind of scary now that, you know, maybe before I couldn't prove anything, or this is just what I believe in, and all of a sudden if it's starting to come into action, I mean, I think it's, it's credible to bring it up and say, hey, well, I think that's just what he was doing. Like, well, this is right. What do you think of that, you know?
You gotta take it this way, too, at the same time, when stuff was going on, you know, like when Y2K came out, everybody was going crazy. Right. Oh my gosh, dude, and lock your doors and everything, and you're sitting there going, dang, man, you're tripping me out.
I mean, it raises the question. I don't think we should be so nonchalant to be like, hey, you know, give you all my info and, you know, in the name of safety or whatnot.
That's just the way I am personally. Even when I go get an oil change.
Yeah, you don't like giving them your area code.
I don't like leaving my stuff down.
I don't do that either.
No, actually, I sit there and I look under the thing and make sure they change my filter.
It's always funny though when they want your phone number and you're buying a stereo. And you don't want to tell them no, but they must know you're lying because you're like, they're like, what's your phone number and address? And you're like,
what I tell you.
So you do a combination of your parents' number?
Yeah, I just tell them, you know what, I might sound paranoid, but you know what, all you get is my name.
Oh, really?
And they're just like, oh.
That's hardcore.
I just go, look, I'll just give them a fake
Here's my number. Take advantage.
Call my mom.
I've got Bobby potted up here, Adam.
All right, Bobby?
Yeah, how you doing?
Bobby. You're 30.
Bobby.
What's up there, Bobby?
Hello to everybody. I just wanted to find out with the divisiveness of, borders first and foremost, but religion kind of second or first, depending on how you look at it. How do you kind of go long term with the thought of tolerance, and how do you blend religions or blend thought processes, or like the whole idea of it all being divisive,
religion,
humanity being one.
Well,
how does it end up working out?
Here's what I think you're asking.
First off, you got to get rid of pride, because every man in this world has a little bit of pride, and they always got boundaries. Like, you know, you go right here in L.A., 18th Street's better than this or that, or in San Diego, South Town is better than North Town, or
right.
Then you got countries. My country's better than your country.
Well, I mean, I think it's a natural human instinct. I sat around today and watched the 10 NFL games with 10 guys who are all arguing over Miami and Dallas and
Chargers, baby. Charger
right.
fans.
That's my point. And they're playing Dallas and we got a guy who's a Dallas fan and a guy. And so to me, that's instinct, man, to take up with some colors, because if not, the NFL wouldn't be as big as it is, and any Major League Baseball, any sports, people wouldn't care. Mm-hmm. Meanwhile, people are not, they're wearing the colors. They're wearing the jerseys, they're wearing the hats. I think that's a human impulse. Now, the question is can the two people watch the game without getting into a fist fight? Yes. And the answer is yes. They do it all the time, and I think you can do that with Muslims and Christians. Right. I think they can have their own team and their own guys that they root for and not make it into a fist fight. But then the Raiders come to town. And now you got to stab it. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Now there's those Raider fans.
Raiders, box with everybody.
And they would be like the more radical fringe that we're talking about.
Raiders and Chargers.
That was a good rivalry. I mean, it still is even back
Whatever.
then.
But
Raiders keep talking about jihad.
but the point is I think there's going to be that group. And a lot of people say, well, look, if you got rid of religion, and even if, let's say you could, then people wouldn't be broken up. But I would say people have that instinct, and it comes out in the NFL. And we would break up by our streets. We would break up by our color, by height, by sex. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's like the pin, man. It's like being in the pin.
Right.
Hey, but you gotta go with your group.
Isn't that what Russia tried to
jacked up?
That's right, Drew. You did some time, right? You ran with the White Aryan Brotherhood, right? Aryan Nation.
The Chinese and the Russians tried to do away with that aspect of human nature, and it did not work.
Right.
It's been going on forever, since the beginning of time.
All right, let's take ourselves a little break. P.O.D. is here. When we come back, Drew will weave tales from the joint. Tell us what it was like on the inside after this. Hey, everybody, it's Loveline.
Yeah, boy.
Well, we just learned from Wub that turning the other cheek is not always the best thing to do.
No, you get one cheek turned, and then the next one you
only got two cheeks.
You get to scrap it.
That's true. And Sonny and Marcos are all here from P.O.D. Satellite's the name of the CD. I think we should take one call, and then we'll hear something, second song off of Satellite. Clarissa?
Yeah.
You're 20. What's up?
Yeah, I just wanted to say, first of all, you're rad, Adam.
Thanks. Are you drunk?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No comment.
All right. Hey, she hung up? I just want to know if she was drunk. That's all.
She was offended.
She was offended.
Oh, okay. I appreciate it. She sounded a little tipsy.
She cussed, and I
don't. Oh, she cussed. I didn't hear.
I think
cuss.
she said freaking.
And we got to go to a song anyway.
Okay, listen. Here's the deal. Engineer Anderson is dying to hear a P.O.D. song, so he just hung up on her. Basically, is how it works. No, you're not going anywhere. He just wants to hear another one off Satellite. All right, this one is called "Youth of the Nation." All right, just talking football with P.O.D. All right, we got to take ourselves a break. Drew, imagine me talking about high school football, huh?
Oh, my God. Are they awake?
Oh, please.
We're actually down. We're going to start a team.
That's right.
Team.
You're going to be the coach, Drew. What's up?
I'm going to start making up the claps now.
Drew played 7.5-man football over at the Little Lord Fauntleroy School for Albino Hemophiliacs. So watch out. He's got some game. Here we come, a truck in. All right, please. Bet you wonder where we've been. So humiliating. We're a little cheering, just a little bit for the Powder Puff game. Because we're funky on our feet. Once a year, the girls would play a game, and they needed the football players to cheer. The Powder Puff. Right, you guys know. All right, we'll take a break. We'll be back with P.O.D. after this. All righty. I want to thank P.O.D. for coming out here tonight. Satellite is the name of the CD. Hey, you guys were great. I had a good time on and off the air with you. we stumbled onto our mutual love of football a couple of breaks ago, and
Whatever.
it's been quite an affair. Hey, good luck to you guys.
Thank you.
I do mean that, and you guys were great, and you come back anytime you like.
Thanks for having us.
We much appreciate it. Satellite, again, is the name of the CD. It's sold out at a lot of places, kids, but you got to be a little persistent, and good things are worth the wait sometimes, so you got to work at it a little. But go out and get that, because these are good guys. And it's not like that money be going up their nose or to one of their 15 illegitimate kids. All right, 10% going to the church. We're going to take ourselves a little extended break, and until next time, it's Adam Crawford, Dr. Drew saying mahalo. Here we come a-trucking in. Bet you wonder where we been. We're a team that can't be beat. 'Cause we're funky on our feet.
You're gay.
This has been Loveline. The opinions expressed on this show are not necessarily those of the staff, management, sponsors, or this station. The producer for Loveline is Ann Wilkins Ingle. Loveline is a presentation of Westwood One Entertainment.